Test, test, test. Can you guys hear me? There we go. All right, how's everybody doing? Let's see, let me get through this chat real quick, see if I missed anything. Big Fish Tech, good to see you on here. All right, looks like we got a good crowd starting out. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get into some of these benchmarks. I'm gonna get some water. All right. Let me make sure that I have my Alienware Command Center settings up, overclock settings up. It is not overclocked right now. Overclock 2. All right, let's do some Cinebench starting out since that one takes a little bit of time. Give some more people some time to jump on, and I might do a vote to see on what game you guys want to see first. Let's check out the multi-core. My X17 got delivered a week ago. Yeah, when I tested out the X17 a few months ago, that was probably my favorite laptop that I've ever tested. It's a great laptop. Mike Valentine, mine got delayed until December 20th. Oh, that's a bummer. It's weird how online it shows that you can purchase it and get it around the same time, and they're delaying yours with it. I don't know when you bought yours. Did you switch the RAM? No, I haven't switched RAM yet. So if you guys go on in the link that's in the description, you can see all of the games that I have downloaded on that benchmark spreadsheet. That's kind of what we're working with right now. I've got a bunch on there. Did you get your CPU light fixed? No, I did not. I contacted support and they ran a bunch of tests on my machine. They should be sending somebody in, I believe Monday of next week, to actually replace my CPU cooler to get that light fixed. But they're super helpful and really easy to talk to. I sound different live. Well, I do sound different on the on this headset. I'm using a different microphone than I normally use on my channel. Plus, on my channel, I do a lot of editing, so I can make everything as fast and as quick as possible. So you don't hear any of my ums or any quiet, boring moments. Ordered mine on 26. They said it'll be here December 20th to 22nd. That's pretty good. Raymond Price, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you on. What kind of monitor are you using or recommend? My dream monitor that I would prefer to use is the Alienware wide curved monitor, but I don't have any money. I don't have enough money for that right now. what should I do when I get mine next week? I would run all of your updates. One update, something about the BIOS update took away the performance setting in my BIOS, so I don't know what that's about, but running the overclock settings within the Alienware Command Center seemed to do the trick on some of the early tests that I did. The question, would you purchase it again? Want to confirm I made the right move? I guess that depends on which configuration you got. Honestly, this i9 configuration with the 3090 is too rich for my blood, and the amount of money that costs over, say, the 3070 or 3080 with an i7 GPU, I don't think that it's usually worth that much more money. If you've got a lot of money, then I say go for it. But as far as the best cost to benefit ratio, I think 3070 or 3080 with an i7 is would be my choice. But everybody always wants to see the fastest of the fast. Is everything in the tower as you got it from Dell? I'm not sure what that means. Oh yes, I didn't. Nothing in the tower is modified yet. In a video next week, I'm going to be doing benchmark tests with a bunch more overclocking and undervolting. And I also got these. Let me pull it out real quick. Got these Noctua fans. I got 3 of these. I'm going to be installing these at some point early next week and running a bunch of tests on those to see if the fan noise comes down. Honestly, the fan noise is a lot better than the previous version. I'm not very upset with the fan noise at all. I think he sold his kidney for that 3090. Yeah, it costs just about as much as a kidney. Let's see. Mine's supposed to ship tomorrow. Awesome. Congrats. Got the i7 and the 3060 with 16 gigabytes of RAM. I got the 64 gigabytes of RAM, and honestly, games rarely ever use more than 16 gigabytes of RAM. So I definitely recommend, unless you're an editor, you do a lot of creative work, it helps out a lot with Adobe Premiere when you have a lot of RAM. But yeah, I don't think it's worth it or necessary to go past 16 usually. If you're playing VR, get a 30. Yeah, when you're playing VR, the best resolution, yeah, you definitely want to get the best of the best. Because I've played VR just with a 1920 by 1080 resolution before, and that screen door effect is pretty nauseating. And you definitely don't want to get any latency when you're running those kind of headsets. So it'll make you dizzy. I would probably use the blue. Yeah, the blue is honestly my favorite. There's so many different zones that you can control, which I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of. But honestly, I think the default blue is my favorite look. Would you say the fan noise is way better than an R6? I haven't tested an R6 yet. Jason, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you on. Let me do a quick, I've got my decibel reader right here. So I'm running all of this directly through to my Alienware M17 R3 laptop, so that there should be no issues as far as the streaming going from that computer to my streaming on Streamlabs. So I haven't optimized my Alienware M17 yet, so there's a lot of fan noise from my laptop that I hear in this room. So when I did tests before this stream, there's about 2 decibels louder in the room when my laptop is here, or 2 or 3 decibels louder in the room when my laptop is on. So the numbers that I get right here for the fan noise, just keep in mind that they're supposed to be about 3 decibels lower than that. .45 decibels, not too bad right now. get Afterburner up and see what the CPU's looking like. CPU temperature sitting at 71 right now, not too bad. Maxing out the multi-core. CPU usage at 100%, so that's pretty encouraging. It's using all of the CPU that it can possibly use, and we're only getting 71 degrees right now. GPU temperature extremely low, but on Cinebench R23, you're using pretty much all RAM, or not RAM, CPU and not GPU. So you're not going to get higher temps with that. Would you recommend the Alienware 3821 ultra-wide monitor for gaming and editing? I definitely think it looks awesome. It's definitely a high-quality monitor. There is cheaper options available on Amazon, but the quality of them just doesn't seem as nice. That could just be me, my opinion, or me being biased to Alienware because it just looks so much better. But yeah, the quality just doesn't look as nice on some of the cheaper ones. When did you order the R13? How long did it take to go through different tracking, like confirmed from production to shipped? So I bought it on October 28th, and I can't remember the day that it confirmed, but it shipped on November 28th. So then I got it December 2nd. So delivery was pretty quick after they had shipped it. Bro, I'm your big fan. Thank you, Testcraft. Appreciate that. I have the R6. Fan noise is not an issue. That's pretty good. So do you do any maintenance on yours to keep the fans down, or you're still using an R6 and haven't done any maintenance and it's still running pretty well? I got the black version of the R13. Yeah, it was difficult for me to choose between the black and the white. I think both look really nice. Can you add a second graphics card to that machine? No, I mean, unless you put it in a different box, there's definitely not enough room for an additional 3090 GPU. Unless you removed the power supply and put that outside of the box somewhere, possibly. But there still might not be enough room for that. Did you fix your CPU cooler light? Leo Garcia asked. No, I did not yet. I contacted Dell support, and they said that they are sending somebody to my house on Monday to replace the cooler to get that to work. Best monitor, in my opinion, is the Samsung Odyssey G9. The color scheme matches the Lunar Light chassis. Nice. I might have to check that one out. Sonic Kim, welcome to the channel. Thanks for the sub. I like your expertise and guidance on products. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm getting better as I go. Definitely know a lot more than I did when I first started this YouTube channel. R13 kicking butt, I hope. So 24,365 on the multi-core. I believe that's pretty good. Let me pull up my, let's see. I'll have to compare that to some benchmarks here in a little bit. Wade Wilson, welcome to the channel. I believe this had Cinebench on it. $12,900KF, multi-core 27,683. So I'm a little shy. I'm shy of that number. So yeah, that number should be a little bit higher. One thing that I have tested sometimes, I'm not sure about it on this machine, is running Cinebench R23 with the NVIDIA Studio driver. The Studio driver is more, works a lot better with creative apps, and creative apps generally use a lot of the CPU power. And I've noticed that using the Studio driver has yielded higher scores in Cinebench R23 sometimes. Let's see. SinTV said, speaking with a Dell rep for the past 2 nights, I've managed to have the Core i9 128 gigabytes. Wow, that's a lot of RAM. 4-year on-site service machine reduced to 9 grand. That's pretty good. Who is better, X17 versus R13? Well, I mean, the R13 is definitely faster. I really love the portability of the X17 and how the fact that they were able to shove that much power in such a thin machine is pretty awesome. Overall, the cryotech cooling technology that Dell or that Alienware has implemented in their computers is pretty much a game changer, because they're just known for their thermals and their overheating, and the fact that they've implemented that now um, is really helping them stay up to date with the competition now. My Alienware M17 R3, I need to clean it out or something because it overheats like crazy. When I put it in my lap, I mean, I could cook my lap putting it on my lap. I never actually do that. I put it on my desk just because it's that hot. Sonic Kim, I'm excited to wait. This PC will be delivered soon in Korea. Nice. I upgraded my R6 to a 2070 Super and was supposed to upgrade my power supply too. Yeah, I guess it just depends on what the power rating difference was. I forgot what they said the 2070 recommended power supply rating was. Sorry, I'm past the bottom of the chat right now, just reading through some of the other ones, just make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't order the Cryotech cooler, just the regular water cooling unit. I was wondering if the fan will still be the RGB one you have with your Cryotech. I don't think that it is. If you go on the Dell website, it shows the 3 different versions. Jeez. Down in the center, I believe it was. So yours is going to look like this. This is the water cooling version that's not the Cryotech cooling version. So that one is missing lights in the middle. Did the CPU light get working? No, unfortunately it didn't, but Dell has a technician coming to my house on Monday to fix that. Could I buy the configuration with the base 8 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, swap them out to the 64 gigabyte 4000 megahertz DDR4 RAM I have until RAM prices come down? Unfortunately, the DDR5 motherboards are only compatible with DDR5. The little notch on the RAM is actually in a different spot, so manufacturers have a choice with the new 12th gen CPUs. If they would like to stick with the DDR4, then they commit to a DDR4 motherboard. If they want to use DDR5, then they have to make that commitment. And I think most people are going to be, or most companies are now going to be opting for the motherboards that have the slots for DDR5. But yeah, technically the 12th gen Intel can work with both. Mako said, are you using thermal? Betu, welcome to the channel. Oh, super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. All right. Let me get back to this. Still not done with a single core. Please make a video on desktop versus laptop gaming. I think that's a pretty good idea. Definitely have a few videos that I want to get out with the R13. I'm going to be doing a crypto mining demonstration with this in a later video before I send it back. Are you using a thermal offset manually for the CPU fan, like maybe 70%? I haven't done any thermal offsets yet. I haven't done anything outside of the custom, I haven't done anything custom outside of the normal default overclock 2 profile within the command center, but I'll be doing a lot more of that in my next video. I might do some manual overclock tests here at the end though. Let's go up. I returned my Alienware X17 RTX 3080 because it had problems with the screen video. Now in the middle of getting another X17. Awesome. What's the best 4K PC gaming monitor? I haven't tested many 4K monitors yet. I want to get one myself. When I do 4K tests, like what I'm going to be doing today, I'm actually running it through to my M17 R3 as the monitor because it has 4K. What's the big plastic thing blocking the bottom front fan? I need to know. The big plastic thing blocking the bottom front fan. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. That's just a bracket that helps. I mean, it's connected to the fan, the bottom fan. You can pull it out, but basically that's a bracket that kind of holds the GPU on. That can be taken out, and you can get up to 14.25 inches of length. So it's definitely going to work pretty well with the next gen GPUs, unless they're bigger than 14 inches long, and I highly doubt that that's going to be the case. Gooder said it cooked my eggs. Why is the Cryotech cooler better than the regular water cooler? I read an article on why the Cryotech was better, and I forgot exactly what they were saying. But I know that it definitely it made things a lot better with the X17, and I haven't tested the just regular liquid cooled version, but um, Cryotech has been pretty impressive. The fan on the radiator is what I was wondering about the RGB on. Figured the block wouldn't be RGB. They're just calling their stupid cooling solution Cryotech so it could sound cool so kids can buy it. No, it actually is it actually does make things run faster. Is this case big enough to swap the Noctua NH-U12A air cooler? I haven't looked that one up yet, but what I showed in the beginning is that the Noctua NF-A12 by 25, this is what I'm going to be replacing 3 of the 4 fans with in a later video to kind of see how that affects thermals and fan noise. Is 32 gigs enough for gaming? Yes, that's definitely big enough for gaming. How long did you take to receive your computer once ordered? It took me about a month. Crypto mining test would look nice. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how much I can make off this machine per day. I noticed that all the RAM, all the RAM on Dell's website is 4400 megahertz, but there are DDR5 kits that go up to 5000s. Would those work? I haven't seen anything. Um, I've been trying to figure that out myself on whether the motherboard itself is locked to 4400 megahertz. I wouldn't see why they would do that. Um, but I'm hoping I wanted to buy something faster than the 4400 megahertz somewhere else, but I mean they're all out of stock right now and incredibly expensive. I saw one DDR5 stick, I think it was 5000 megahertz for $2,000. Just ridiculous right now. Have you tried the Intel i9 900K turbo boost that Intel had? Site showing as max is pretty high. I would try it out. Okay, I can try that. Cryotech has 6% heavier duty cycle compared to the regular AIO from Dell. Beer Man, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. X17 3080 version is out of stock again. Wow, that was fast. So they went back in stock for, what was it, like a week before that went out again? These GPUs are selling like crazy. I am a little concerned with the crypto mining uh, situation going on right now, though, because I know that next year at one point the coin that's going to be mining that mines the most, Ethereum, they're switching to a method that uses proof of stake instead of proof of work, which means that nobody's going to be mining that anymore. Brian, how's it going? Thanks for the sub. Do you think NVIDIA 40 series can fit into it? I do think that when you take out that bracket with it being 14.25 inches long, I don't see the 40 series being bigger than 14.25 inches long. Mako said the key to these Alienware machines is to use thermal offset manually for your fans and save that profile to your game profile. That keeps it cool. Okay. Oscar Fernandez, what's going on? How hot it runs when looping R23. When running R23. Oh, did it shut down my... No, it's still up. So, what was the... So that whole time we were seeing CPU temperatures at only 50 degrees. At one point it went up to 70. CPU usage percentage. Why did it go down right here? D-Clown, welcome to the channel. All right, so we got a single core score of 1962. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my spreadsheet. Obviously, it's a lot higher than all of these laptops that I've tested, but still way higher than... I was having issues with my R12 when I was testing that out. Where is that? R12 right here. Yeah, so my numbers for my R12 were not as high as they should be. I don't know what was going on with those benchmark tests. But that was a while ago. So the multi-core score, what was that? 24,365. All right, let's jump into Geekbench. That's a pretty quick one. I'm going to screenshot this for the full review. Boris, how's it going? Thanks for the sub. Let's go ahead and close that. Jump into some Geekbench. Where's my Geekbench? All right, let me catch up on some comments. Thinking about getting the Aurora R12, but should I spring for a 13? I definitely think you'll be a lot happier with a 13 in the long run. How's the weather? Today was pretty cloudy. What frequency does the CPU run at a sustained R23 load? What was the core clock frequency? I'm a little confused with that number. Let me pull up Task Manager. How do you like Windows 11? It's kind of weird, honestly. I don't like that you can't right click on the taskbar anymore and go to your task manager. Feels like I lost something there. Let me pull up HW info too. How's it looking temp-wise? Temp-wise, not too bad actually. GPU temperature right now is at 33 degrees. CPU temperature jumped to 80 a few times with Geekbench. When it was running Cinebench, looked like it jumped a couple times to 80, 83, but was kind of resting more around the 70s. All right, so we got a single core score of 1908 for the Geekbench. And what was our multi-core score? 17293. And a CUDA. Let's run our CUDA. Which is better, the R13 or the NZXT content creator one, if you know what that PC is? I was looking into that. Today when I was actually writing the review, the NZXT I don't believe has 12th gen Intel yet. So I don't think the content creator PC has the capabilities of the higher specs that the R13 has. I may be wrong, but I checked their website and I didn't see anything on there yet about it having PCIe 5.0. And you're going to want that for the possibility of upgrading your GPU later. 235, actually I'll just copy and paste. Why am I? Never mind. That's way too big. 235.069. All right, 3D Mark is one that everybody really likes. That's an important one because that basically determines how good it's going to do in games and with 3D applications. So let's go ahead and get some 3D markup in here. Make sure that my overclock settings are still up. Okay, oh, that's where it needs to be. 3D mark. 64-bit. Okay, I'm going to catch up on some comments while this is running because this one takes a little while. Okay. Ordered late November, but not coming until the 14th. Should I buy Alienware or should I just buy one of those Amazon PCs? My budget is $1,000 to $1,500. Are you looking for laptop or desktop? I definitely think the lower you go, you get better bang for your buck as far as performance. The 38 or the 3090 GPU with an i9 is pretty expensive on all machines. So if it were me, I wouldn't buy the most expensive one. It will be the fastest, but okay. I wouldn't buy one of those random PCs from Amazon though. The lowest version of this computer, I believe, is $1,400. Let me turn this down. Which can run games decently, but yeah, you'll have trouble with the higher performing games on the lowest spec one. Love from India, thank you very much, appreciate it. Was your name inspired by Linus Tips? Jason, welcome to the channel. Tyler, welcome to the channel. Brandon, thanks for the sub. Was it inspired by Linus? No, I came up with about it's between 50 and 60 different names, and almost all of them with Justin were already taken. Regular Justin Tech was already taken. Multiple channels had Justin Tech. I can't remember if Justin Tech Reviews was taken, but I didn't like the way that sounds. And Justin Tech Tips, just that was one of the names that I wrote down because it works and I think it fits. It is a little bit different than Linus Tech Tips because it's using a play on words with my name, texts that are just in. I know it's a little similar to him, and he's probably the best there is, or the most popular there is, but I don't think he should own the word tips just because he's big. Okay. Well, I'm missing out a lot of comments here. Are you getting Steam Deck? I definitely tried to get it, and they sold out pretty quick. I haven't checked recently on being able to get one of those, but it's definitely something I want to test out for you guys. Gooter, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure which thing that you're referring to with that. Is all this planned to be a full-length video? The benchmarks, I am going to be doing a full benchmarks video, if that's what you're talking about. So why did you get this and not make a one with hand due to part availability? You're literally streaming through GeForce now. Stop the cap. What is it? I don't know what you're talking about. How long did it take for you to receive your computer? A month. Can't wait for MS Flight Simulator. I did download that game, so we're going to be testing that one out a little bit later today. Legion 5 Pro or Legion 7? Well, Legion 5 Pro was less expensive. I think it was really good bang for your buck, but you're going to get a faster machine with the Legion 7. Chris, thanks for the sub. Is this computer upgradable? Yes, it is. They have finally on this version made the case big enough to accept a full-size NVIDIA graphics card. And there's now 14.25 inches that I measured from the front to the back inside the case. So it's definitely going to be big enough to accept the new 40 series GPUs. I mean, unless they're going to like 15 inches, but I don't see them being that big. NZXT doesn't have Gen 12. Yeah, that's what I thought. I checked that earlier today. I didn't see any, but sometimes I don't click on the right category and then I miss something, but it's good to know that's confirmed. So yeah, they don't have the PCIe Gen, or they don't have the PCI Express 5.0. I mean, that's a big deal. But when I did the price comparison to the last version of the NZXT, with all the parts together, the NZXT was actually more expensive than the Alienware R13, believe it or not. So spec for spec, get the most expensive version of the NZXT versus the R13, and you get a faster version for less money with the R13, or at least spec-wise you do on paper. I have the Alienware 38-inch ultra wide. I paid $1,900. They lowered the global MSRP to like $1,500. Now it's only shy above 1K. Wow, 1K. It's a pretty good monitor for $1,000. Interesting. Okay, 17,948. Some of the data could not be parsed. Yeah, that is not what it should be. So the GPU went to 100% a few times. The temperature never went over 74 degrees. What was the CPU doing? At one point, the CPU got to 84. So something was throttling on this, but I'm not seeing exactly what. I had HW info open. I'm wondering if it was my VRAM temperatures. Robin, thanks for the sub. Pull up my sensors. The memory temperature is at 62 right now. So I wonder why the time spice score is so low. I'm going to scroll through these comments real quick. Did I order from Dell site or somewhere else? I ordered it from Dell. Can you play the game Outriders? How big is that game? Because I definitely don't have that one downloaded. Brat Studios, thank you for the sub. So why does it say system data info is complete? Something is not right here. Is there anything else running right now? Let's get rid of Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. want my Alienware, but I do want Command Center. I'm going to run this again. Something's not right with that. On the Alienware website, it says that it's supposed to get up to 19,000. Justin, what monitor are you using? Do you plan on getting the Alienware 3821? Eventually, I do want to get that one. Right now, I'm just using a LG monitor. What kind of mouse and keyboard do you have? Because I got the stock ones. So after I purchased the R12, I had a lot of Dell rewards. I got the Alienware keyboard and mouse for only $80 after applying the rewards. So I was pretty happy with that. And that's actually, oh, awesome. Thank you for the super chat, MJ Nis. Vu, welcome to the channel. Is your GPU a 3090? Yes. Okay, so let's look at some of these numbers right now and see. Okay, so the CPU is at 52 degrees, GPU 64 degrees. My GPU is hitting a couple times there. It hit 360 watts, which is higher than its 350 that it's supposed to be at. Now it's down to 125. I don't know what's going on right here. It's only using 39% of the GPU. The fans are only at 1400 RPMs, only using a little bit less than 10 gigabytes of RAM. So I have HW info collecting data right now too, and I'm going to see if the VRAM is causing it to throttle. But while this is going on, I'm going to read some more of these. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. Nexus Gamer, who hates Dell products, had some good things to say about the Dell RTX 3090. I did see the thumbnail for that, where he said sometimes Dell gets it right, and he had a 3090 in his hand. I'm interested to see what he says about that, because he absolutely destroyed the R12. He definitely gets a good amount of views by bashing computers a little bit harder than I think that they need to be bashed, but I mean, it's entertaining. Still single fan local cooler, yep. Why is there 345 dislikes? Is there 345 dislikes on this stream? Live. I don't see dislikes on my end. It doesn't actually show them to me. Alienware or Zephyrus G15? I did like the Zephyrus G15. The X17 is definitely a better choice. I'd be interested in seeing the difference between the stock fans and the Noctura fans. The Noctua. Okay, can you get the temperature Alienware always overheats with high quality games? Yeah, we're going to be running some really intense games today to see. I know that the Call of Duty games are going to get pretty hot, so. Do you think that Dell will ship my R13 this Friday? They seem backlogged. Not so sure about that. It seems like unless you're one of the first people to buy a new product from Dell, they do seem to get pretty bogged down. And with the holidays going on right now, it's possible that it could get delayed again. I wonder why I just lost the data on. There we go. Okay, so the temps have gotten a little bit hotter since then. can see we're getting pretty close to that 350 watts on the GPU, so it's using that pretty hard. It's maxing out the GPU at 100% without getting crazy hot. All right, let me scroll through all these comments to see what questions I have. I know some of these are questions for other people. Aaron Chambers, can you see any of my comments? Yes, did I miss? Oh wait, what monitor are you using? I thought I answered that question. I'm just using an LG monitor right now. I can put the link in the description after I look it up. There is a Chrome extension that will let you see dislikes. Still 17,900. I don't know what's going on with that. That's disappointing, honestly. I might do some more tests after this stream. All right, let's check out the sensors to see what temperatures we were getting. The memory junction temperature got to 90 degrees at one point. So that could possibly be one of the reasons it's throttling. The CPU got to 88. Average was at 45. So I mean, I don't think 88 would cause that to throttle. Yeah, but the VRAM is looking pretty hot there. I don't know if you guys have seen some of those videos where they added thermal paste around the GPU. The plate around the GPU did not have any paste on it. So after applying that, new member WG Productions, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate that. But yeah, maybe after applying thermal paste, that'll change. But right now, that is a disappointing number considering they said we should get up to 19,000. So I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of this for my full review unless I somehow figure out better numbers on that. But we can jump right into some games. Testcraft, thanks for the sub. All right, so I am going to throw up a poll real quick. See what games you guys want to see first. Let me add this to the front. Poll, add poll. Manage poll, okay. Well, that poll option within Streamlabs seems a little confusing. I don't see where to actually change the options. Custom fields. Okay, I'm just going to see if anybody requested something and then jump on that. Jason, how's the noise level? When I was running a test earlier today, the Cinebench, I was getting 45 decibels, so not too bad. But the numbers also weren't as high as they should have been. Crank the lower front fan up to 80%. Oh, are you talking about for the video RAM to not get so hot? I mean, yeah, that's an option. I might run that a little bit later because I know some people are probably not going to want to see the 3D Mark test again. I think some of the dislikes are just because it's Dell. Warzone, that was the first one that I saw. Jeremy Riggs said that he asked 6 different questions. Let me kind of search through here and see what questions he asked. Dell is kind of crap right now. Is it a good idea to get an R13? On paper, it's actually a pretty good deal with all of the different specs that we've got. I'm trying to figure out why some of these numbers are not higher. We're not getting much, I mean, it's not getting too hot, so I'm trying to figure out why there seems to be a little bit of throttling. GPU VRAM is probably throttling 110C. I didn't see it getting that hot. Mine was getting up to 90. Yeah, okay, so it says, yeah, right here it says thermal throttling starts at around 110 degrees for the video RAM. Why is the AMD option crap? I wouldn't say the AMD option is crap, but there's a lot with the AMD version of this computer that you don't get as far as future-proofing the device or future-proofing the machine as a whole. You don't get the DDR5 RAM. I mean, the processor is just a little bit newer, the 12th gen, and the biggest thing that I think is the PCI Express 5.0, which is a much faster connection for the GPU, which is just going to make it much more able or much more possible to upgrade to faster GPU when those come out, possibly next year. All right, let's see. We have to remember these CPUs are very new and drivers will continue to come out. Yep, that's true. No such thing as future-proof laptop. That's definitely true. When people say future-proof, they're just referring to as future ready as possible. Nothing is future-proof, especially in tech, but it's just a saying that people use when they're trying to make something last as long as possible and upgradable for as long as possible. Red Dead Redemption 2. I think the first request that I saw was Call of Duty Warzone. No, the chat's not super delayed. There's so many messages that came so quickly that I'm having to scroll back up to read some of these. Jeremy Riggs said, play Minecraft, Cyberpunk 2077. It blows right in the CPU, GPU. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Turn the fan up on that bottom fan. Mid fan, side fan. Front fan. So mid fan is probably the glowing fan, top fan. I'm gonna guess it's this one. If the temperature gets to, let's say 70 degrees, because I think that's what it got to. GPU temperature got up to 74 degrees. So yeah, we'll say it's 74. Let's bring the fans up to 80. Yeah. So that's going to make it louder, but it's probably going to help with performance a bit. I got ACC update yesterday, which really improved benchmarks by 10%. Oh, interesting. I'm pretty sure that I upgraded or got the update for Alienware Command Center yesterday. Cynthia Long, how's it going? Not sure if you answered already, but you'd think a small PCIe card can squeeze in above the video card in one slot that looks like the one slot that it might fit. No, it looks like the GPU hangs or goes up a little too high to add in another card above that. All right, I'm caught up with messages. If I missed a message, if you could just uh, type your question again. That was a lot of messages I had to scroll through. But so the first game that I saw was Warzone. So I am going to, let me make sure that this thermal profile is still set to performance. Okay. No, it's performance 1 was the one that I manually created. Alright, so I am going to Steam, no not Steam, Battle.net as Call of Duty. So the fans just went quite a bit higher. What temperature are we looking at right now? It's only 35 degrees. Let's do Call of Duty Warzone. An update again? I just ran an update yesterday. Call of Duty with these updates. 38 gigabytes remaining. I'm gonna have to pause that for now and let that download after I look at some comments, but I'm gonna jump into Black Ops real quick. See you, Jeremy. Thanks for jumping on. Heat, I recently bought an Alienware X17 thanks to your review. Appreciate it. Glad that video helped out. Is the Hypnotic said, is the command center slow on boot up because on the Alienware laptop it is? Yes, believe it or not, it took 23 seconds to open up the command center on this brand new machine with a 3090 GPU and an i9. So that's honestly unacceptable. I don't know why that software is so heavy, but it should not take 23 seconds to open up. Jeremy said, I think it's funny that the R14 is worse than the R13. Yeah, I don't know why they labeled it like that. I don't know what the whole reasoning for that was, because the newer specs are definitely within the R13. Can you make a video on how to set up a PC for noobs? I think eventually I can make a video like that. That'd be a fun one to make. So I'm going to do a custom game because this game takes forever to actually find people because nobody plays this game anymore, it seems like. But it's definitely a good benchmarking game. And then I'm going to jack my settings all the way up. High. Yep, that's already there. Everything's already all the way up, looks like. Have to restart up. Alienware Command Center is delayed, takes a few minutes. Software changes BIOS settings. Do you know if the 3090 in your system is low hash rate? It didn't say LHR when I bought it, so no, this one isn't low hash rate. Okay, no joke. Do you think that it could really run Minecraft at 8K? If you don't know, would you make a video about it? Would definitely watch. 8K, that would be a hard thing to test because I don't have anything that can run 8K. If I had an 8K monitor, I could do that. Turn my volume up. GPU's maxing out at 100% right now. It's showing that it's only 51 degrees. That's way too loud. Oh, you know what? I think this is set to a higher resolution. What resolution is this set to? No, it's not. So we're looking at an average of 120 right now, frames per second, with all the settings maxed out. So it's definitely not the case with this game, at least, to get 300 frames per second in HD with settings maxed out. I'm not sure what settings they ran when they claim on the Alienware website that this game runs at 300 frames per second. And these fans are really going right now. Let me do a quick test. So getting 60 decibels right now on the fans. I'm interested to see which fans are going crazy right now. So it's the front fan right now. It's at 73%. Okay, like I told it to. I wonder if I bring this back down to the regular overclock settings, if it'll actually hurt performance at all. The regular thermal performance settings, because it definitely brings the fan noise down quite a bit. Oh wow. Okay, that's really weird. It looks like the frames per second went up after I lowered the fans. So it didn't seem like increasing the fans really helped, which I would understand them to help if this was getting too hot, but right now their GPU and CPU are both at under 60 degrees, so there's no reason for there to be more cooling going on unless the VRAM is still getting maxed out. So let's check that out. I don't see my hardware info anymore. HW info. Let's check out my sensors. So, okay, so I didn't reset it after that last time. Right now, max is going up to 62 degrees. So every time I come back to the game, I hit F7 because that's my reset on my recording frames per second. That's why when I come back to the game, things seem to jump a little bit. So yeah, right now it's looking like 112 frames per second on Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Let me go ahead and type that in my benchmarks. Yeah, so I'm looking at my laptops, or the different laptop results that I've gotten, and that's not even keeping up with the laptops. Do I still have something else running? I'm going to read a few comments real quick. I'm assuming your frames aren't as high because Intel's 12th gen isn't fully optimized as it introduced P cores and E cores. That's possibly the case. I might be maxing out my performance cores, and my efficiency cores are just being wasted right now. Thanks for doing this. Silly question. When you first set up your machine, one of the RGB themes you selected was Rainbow Wave. I no longer see this option. Do you still have it available? Yeah, it should still be on here. I don't think it went away. All zones, Rainbow Wave. There's certain sections that I think don't have Rainbow Wave. That might have been what you see. But Rainbow Wave as a whole is still there. But yeah, I'm okay, so I don't know what just happened there, but my frames per second is back up. I didn't change anything but go back into the command center. .210 frames per second. That's quite a bit higher than the 112 that I was seeing before. And my temperatures are also higher than they were before. Some very interesting results right now. I wonder if there's some sort of dynamic thing going on within these graphic settings. These are typically the exact settings that I use for everything when I'm maxing them out. Vertical sync is off. Display resolution at 1920 by 1080. Let me go to full screen, not windowed, and see if that changes anything. Sometimes it does, which is weird. Yeah, so I'm getting an average of 212 right now. 211. Okay, we're going down. CPU normally hits on the laptops over 90 degrees. The max we're getting right now, 82. I'm gonna read some of these comments. Jeremy Riggs, I don't understand this dude's vids. They're great. Why does he only not have 1 million? Appreciate that, man. Maybe one day I'll get to 1 million. That will be an amazing day when that happens. But I'll be excited if I have 50,000 at the end of next year. I think that would be a great achievement in that second year of doing this full time. What cooler does it have? This is the Cryotech liquid cooled version. Activate Xbox game bar overlay and see if that helps. How do I do that again, Leo Garcia? I doubt he's using a low refresh monitor. Try setting your render resolution to 100. Oh, I didn't realize you could scroll down in the theme section. It's not visible until you scroll down. It's all right. So 212, that's a much better number. I'm going to type that in. And 212 is the highest number that I've seen. But if you look at, what was this right here? That was the MSI GE76 Raider. That was a laptop. And that was not too far from the score that we just got with Call of Duty. So that's pretty interesting. It is pretty beast of a laptop. It's not cheap, but it's cheaper than the R13. So let's go ahead and jump into Forza Horizon 4. That's definitely that's one of those games where the benchmarking can't be accidentally done wrong. So these should be some pretty good numbers here. I don't want any of this Edge stuff. Edge, get out of here. Nobody wants you, Edge. We want Google Chrome. That's it. I'm going to resume download while I read some of these comments real quick. We will try to get you to 1 million club. Appreciate that, Master Mountains. Hello, Justin. I'm Elvin Ferdian from Indonesia. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. Need to get some water, though, because all this talking is getting my mouth really dry. Microsoft key plus G. Okay. I can jump back into Call of Duty, a little bit later and try that out, see if that helps something. Your GPU clock is around 1750. My 3080 runs 1825. All my tests are not overclocked. Huh. I wonder why my GPU is not using all of its power. Yeah, it definitely, I don't know why it would not be using all of its power. Man, that is a lot of gigabytes remaining. I feel like Warzone always does this to me. I get all prepared, run an update the day before, and then they've got another update right when I have to do a stream. And I don't understand why their updates are basically re-downloading the entire game. I'm gonna run into my BIOS settings, make sure that there's nothing, no profiles or performance things that I missed in an update, just to make sure that I'm getting the max that I should be getting. Carlos, hello love from Ecuador, just subscribed, appreciate that. How much power do you assume the 4090 would consume? I read about the 3090 Ti, and it was saying that the 3090 Ti is, John, thanks for the sub, appreciate it. It was saying that the 3090 Ti is going to be 450. Carlos, appreciate it, thank you for the sub. Oh, interesting. I'm reading a message that said you already subbed. I think that's behind. Oh, I was too busy reading comments that I forgot to hit F2. Sorry, let me retry this. Go into BIOS. F2, F2, F2. So I would assume that the 4090 is going to be maybe 600. Aaron, welcome to the channel. Thanks for the sub. So advanced. What do we got here? Performance options. Back. Yeah, see, that's what happened after I updated the BIOS and updated all my other Alienware software. Is now when I go into performance, there's nothing within this BIOS section for performance. So I hope that's not costing me anything. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm gonna go ahead and save and exit. Maybe at one point I'll test out. Next week I'm gonna be doing all kinds of tests with overclocking and undervolting and just fiddling with everything that I possibly can to see how much we can max this thing out. Kazi Warzone does this to everyone. Yeah, I don't understand why you make updates that ping your servers with 40 gigabytes per person. Vladimir, thanks for the sub. So now that I restarted, I am going to try that that one recommendation within Black Ops to run the Xbox overlay and see what that does. No, I do not want safe mode. Enable R bar to increase RTX 3090 performance. That tech guy, I can help you with your BIOS performance settings to make them show up again. Go back to the Alienware Command Center and turn off the overclock profile, and the BIOS setting will show back up again. Oh, I think you told me that in a comment at one point, didn't you? I think I read a comment. If that's the case, that's awesome. The BIOS setting will show up again. BIOS shows nothing when it's disabled. That tech guy is the GOAT. Thanks, that tech guy. I think I've seen some of your videos before. So I am going to go into here, Alienware Command Center, follow his suggestion. What in-game overlay are you using for the CPU? Okay, yeah, somebody already answered that. Thank you for answering that, Mako. Master of Mountains, I've learned a lot from you. Appreciate that. So now that I opened up Alienware Command Center, we gotta wait 23 seconds for it to actually load. So that's always fun. Why is Alienware going with a black color scheme? It looks bad. I like white. Well, let's turn on the white. There we go. So overclock off. So did you say to turn off any of the thermal or power profiles? Let me go back up to that comment. Everyone should sub to Tech Guy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sub to Tech Guy. You know, hey, that Tech Guy. So I was thinking about changing my name. I used to be Dad Tech, and that Tech Guy was the #1 name that I was thinking about changing to this past summer. It was literally that Tech Guy was what I was thinking about changing my name to. But then I went and searched on YouTube to see if there was any other that Tech Guys, and I saw that there were some. And I just didn't want to, in the future, possibly have somebody say that they wanted me to change it since they had that Tech Guy first. I don't know if maybe it might have even been your channel that I saw. But that tech guy's definitely got a nice ring to it. Could you upgrade the video quality to 1080p? Is this stream not in 1080p? What's it running at right now? Leave the rest, just change the overclock off. So I got my R13 Saturday and the GPU died last night. It's a 3080 Dell. Is replacing, but wow, does it suck. Wow. Your GPU died that quickly? 720. Okay, let me go into my Streamlabs settings and see if, because that won't do. Why is that? Video. Output scaled resolution. What in the world? 1280 by 720? No thank you. Let me fix that. Can I fix that during the stream? Thank you for letting me know. I hate when things are low resolution. I would have gone this entire stream at 720. Okay, so apply. Let's see if that changes it. I wonder if that'll change it midstream. Oh man, still seeing 720p when I go actually into the stream. Well, that's a bummer. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into the BIOS and do what they suggested and see if that helps with performance a little bit. Done deal. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat. It's weird I'm not hearing, you know, I think everything that's happening within the chat shows up later on the actual video. There we go. Yeah, super chat. Okay, so it just shows up in the video. There's a big delay. Wonder how I can fix that. But yeah, thank you for the 20 bucks. Means a lot. All right, so advanced performance options, overclocking feature enabled. Overclock 2. All right, so what was the setting that you said to change? You can't change it while live, Sim Captain. Oh, that's a bummer. I wish I would have known. I wonder if I can end the stream and then restart it without it like completely ruining the stream. The packaging of the R13 sucks. Yeah, it really did. I don't understand what was up with that tape job. But by the way, Big Fish Tech, I saw your video. Looked really good. Did a really good job on that video. Your thumbnail image was really high quality too. It was a good shot. Let's see. I think you would need to restart to get to 1080p. That's a bummer. Enable resizable bar. That's right. So where is resizable bar? Performance options. Oh, here. Oh no. Wordo, where did you see the resizable bar option? No, imagine it. Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with the actual BIOS. I was trying to get this quality as high as it could be, but it looks like it's only at 720 for the video. I joined late, but notice you're doing this to improve your performance. Is it running lackluster as well? I noticed my R13 was running like 40 frames under my R10. Yeah, there's definitely, it's not as fast as I thought it was going to be. Oh, Shane, thanks for the sub. Click advanced. Okay. Hyper thread control. Maintenance, maybe? Oh, wait. PCIe resizable base address register bar. Okay. So you said just enable that. There we go. All right, let's see if that helps. I don't know. Should I risk it, end the stream, and restart it to see if that fixes the 1080p, or do you guys not care? Just ran TimeSpy R13 i7, 16,000, no overclocking. Yeah, I mean, I only got 17,900 with my 3090. I should have gotten closer to 19,000. I mean, according to their website. Does the motherboard have 2 NVMe SSD slots? Yes, it does. How can you share the BIOS settings, remote desktop? So I actually have, I'm not running the stream. Enrique, thanks for the sub. I'm not running the stream directly on the R13 because I figured that that would affect performance. I'm actually running the stream out through HDMI to a capture card that is then going into my laptop, which is, my laptop is what's streaming the video. So now let's jump back into Call of Duty Black Ops 4. See if we're getting better numbers now. I hope we are. Tyler Rudder, how much longer are you going to stream? I plan to be going to 11 o'clock, maybe a little bit past that. So let's go ahead and play. So the people that changed the overclock settings within the BIOS, you did say that you're not supposed to go back into Alienware Command Center, right, to go to overclock 2 profile. That'll mess it up. All the boost, use NVIDIA drivers. Yeah, I've got the latest game ready driver from my NVIDIA card. Is it worth the upgrade from Legion 7 3060 to 3070, or just save the money because there's not a huge gains from jumping from 3060 to 3070? Yeah, if there's not that big of a jump and money's kind of tight, I think it's better to kind of go for just a step under what you think your maximum needs are going to be. I mean, if worse comes to worse, you can just lower your game settings a little bit. Don't forget to activate Xbox Game Bar. Said it was Windows, was it Windows G? Is that what you said? There we go. Welcome to Game Bar. Got it. Do I need a link Steam? Master of Mountains, what are drivers? Drivers are the pieces of software that make different external peripherals run. Are both NVMe slots 2280? Yes, they are. All right, multiplayer. Let me check my graphic settings again. Vertical sync is off, frame limit unlimited. Texture quality, all these are high, everything up. Custom games. Add bot. 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 Play. And drop the Xbox game bar back down. Okay, looks like it's down now. Now just hit Windows plus G again to minimize it. This can hold up performance too. Thank you, I love you. Appreciate that. Enrique, generally not recommended with air coolers. Oh, talking about overclocking on the fan-only CPU cooling. Yeah, usually they don't recommend you do that. All right, just forgot that Afterburner is not running. Looks like we got a little bit higher numbers in the 230s. Be interested to see if this has helped with the 3D Mark time spy score, but we'll jump into some other things since you guys have already seen that. I'll run this for a little bit just to make sure temperatures don't get too high. $220 frames per second. Seems like it's kind of sitting there. Oh! My R13 was delayed. It was going to be here for the 6th, now 13th. Oh, it sucks. The numbers before, I believe, were around 212. Looks like we're kind of getting back to those numbers, though, the longer we play. I don't know why. I mean, okay, so GPU is at 100%. I wonder if we're hitting our power. No, we shouldn't be hitting our power limit either because the CPU is only at 30%. But I'm glad I'm doing this live with you guys. We can figure all this out together, making sure we don't miss something that somebody else knows to try things out. What's the resolution you're running this on, 1080p or 4K? So this is 1080p, and unfortunately it's not close to that 300 frames per second they were saying Warzone would get, but so we'll call that 217, just a little bit higher than what we were getting before. Let's go back to my benchmarks. Can run some 4K tests later. So 217, just not that much higher than the GE76 that I tested. Definitely cooler temperatures though. I'll put in the temperatures later. So let's go ahead and run Forza, because that has some really good benchmark tools. Did you fix your CPU cooler? No, unfortunately that's not fixed yet, but I did contact Dell, and they're sending somebody to replace the cooler on Monday. So that's good news. Someone from UPS stole it? That could be. Yeah, my package literally came exactly in the box that I opened up on camera. So everybody knew what it was. That's kind of scary that they just left it at my door without needing a signature. All right. So custom. Dynamic optimization off so that we can go into our ultra settings. Frame rate, vertical synchronization off so we can go to unlocked, see what our real frames per second is going to be. Save. Oh, I didn't click on benchmark mode. My bad. Let me restart that. Don't forget to activate, deactivate Xbox Game Bar. Windows G, Windows G. Are you in Canada or US? I'm in the US. Got you on MTTV. The pressure is on to play as best as you can. MTTV. What's that? Theron, thanks for the sub. Okay, everything's at ultra. Pack Thug, thanks for the sub. Benchmark mode, there we go. Okay. Had a chance to check out Forza 5. I have not checked that out yet. Is there a good benchmark mode in that? Watching you on my 55-inch TV. Ah, that's a bummer. If only I would have given you that 1080p resolution. Hopefully 720p doesn't look too terrible on that screen. When did you order your R13? I ordered it on October 28th. Oh, my TV. I gotcha. It almost looked like you were saying like MTV, like music television. Go ahead and reset my frames per second recorder. So 180 frames per second, definitely a lot faster than the laptops that I've tested. $190. GPU temperatures 68, CPU 64, 70. White Angel, I ordered my R13 just now. Total cost $3,100. Congratulations. What was the configuration you went with? You still look handsome AF, brother. You're a goat. My girlfriend and mom are here with me too. Appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully I can get back. I haven't been as healthy as I should have been this past year. It's been just with YouTube and new baby. We have a 1.5-year-old. It's not as easy time-wise to get to the gym. I used to work out every day before COVID. 218 frames per second, definitely a lot faster than what I saw with my laptops. Let me pull up some other benchmarks to see what other people have been getting with that. I want to see what other people get with Forza. Forza Horizon 4, 3090. They were getting 267 frames per second. So I wasn't seeing that kind of number. Let me scroll all the way down where all these other games are. So the 1% low, minimum frames per second, is what they were getting for 240, 267. So we were getting 219, 218. So that's also not as high as I think it should be. But we'll go ahead and log that result. Definitely way faster than anything else that I've ever tested. But according to some other tests, see, the only problem with what I'm doing right now is that I haven't tested. What is flickering on the stream right now? Is that flickering on your end, or is it just within Streamlabs? Let me load this stream up. Is that flickering at the bottom for you guys, or is it just on my Streamlabs preview? No, it's flickering on the actual thing too. What is going on with that? It's not flickering on the monitor. I wonder if that's my streaming card acting up right now. Interesting. Okay, when I took out the monitor, my stream card has 2 different HDMIs that come out of it, and I wonder if the stream card is not liking to run 2 HDMIs. So now I have to look at Streamlabs to actually see what I'm doing. The little splitter isn't working very well. Let's see, can I full screen this? Projector. Moonman, thanks for the sub. Hunter, thanks for the sub. Create output projector. Okay, here's my full screen mode. So I need to put my chat next to that so I can still see you guys. There we go. It's just a little bit smaller of a screen that I have to work with, and now there's a little bit of lag since I'm using that as my main thing. Alright, so let's close Forza. And now we're going to jump into, let's do Shadow of a Tomb Raider, because that's another preset benchmark that runs really easily. Then I could read some more of your comments. Play. Sometimes Tomb Raider has issues. I've had this with a lot of laptops too, where it says that it can't play because the settings are too high. So then I have to set before I actually open the game to the lowest settings, and then when I actually get in the game, set them to the highest settings. So just in case that tries to happen, I'm going to go ahead and set this to the lowest graphics settings before I open it up. I don't know why it does that. Your GPU is running at low watt. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I think when temps are under 90, I mean, things should be running well. Yeah, I guess something with my capture card is broken to where the second 4K output or the HDMI output going to my big monitor where I've been viewing all of this without lag. So now I kind of have to watch it through the stream itself, which isn't a huge deal, but okay. Displaying graphics. Let's bring this back up to highest. Make sure VSync is off. Yep. Direct stick. We'll try it with DirectX 12 on and with it off. Would you be able to run a benchmark on Blender? I don't have that downloaded. You know what? There's so much heaviness with how much benchmarking I want to do. Maybe at some point, maybe after this stream is over tonight, we can, in the comments, you guys can ask for some of the other games, as long as they're free or really cheap. Some of the other games that I could have run, or Blender, things like that. Then I can do like a part 2 maybe. And hopefully Call of Duty Warzone can actually have their updates done before the stream. I seem to always have that issue. Okay, I'm going to reset my frames per second recorder to get the average. Right now my GPU is only running 250 watts, so it's at 62%. I heard that the new Tomb Raider is poorly implemented, a real graphics card killer. Oh, nice. I'm going to do some side-by-side testing with my year-old R10 RAM versus the R12 or the R13 12900 KF when it gets here. That's a good thing to do. I'd be interested to see that test. Halo Infinite multiplayer is free. Do you have Cinebench R23? Yeah, I ran that earlier today. The results were a little bit lower than I thought they were going to be. Which one do I go for, Legion 7 or Alienware X17? Well, from the reviews that I've seen, the Legion 7i, between the Legion 7i and the, I think it's the Asus S17, those are the two gaming laptops that have had the absolute highest scores, highest frames per second as well. Cynthia Long, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that super chat. Kevin, thanks for the sub. How's everything with you and the family? Ready for Christmas? We've done some Christmas shopping, not too much yet. My daughter actually has a birthday in December too, so we've got a lot going on. But yeah, December is usually a pretty fun month. But yeah, to answer your question, Vishal, between the Legion 7 and the Alienware X17, Legion 7i is faster than the X17. In my hands, just with the way that it feels, I love the glowing touchpad on the X17 and the design a little bit better. They both perform really well, but the Legion 7i performs just a little bit better. So if you're going for performance only, I would go for the Legion 7i. Do a round on Cinebench R23. Yeah, I might run that again before the full review to see what unpredictable legacy. I love my Legion 7i Gen 6, the best ever. Congrats. Yeah, you got a really good machine there. Unfortunately, I actually started doing a Legion 7i unboxing and review last month, and I haven't been able to edit and post it because when it came to the review video, I blue screen every single time I tried to run a game, so I had to send it back. I might uh, get a new one at some point, but that was pretty disappointing. All right, so the results, we got 124 frames per second. I'm gonna go ahead and log that really quick. Why is it not letting me get out of here? Well, I was on the wrong mouse. All right, Tomb Raider. What did I say, 126? 124. I'm going to run it again with DirectX 12 on, see what that changes. How long was your order in production before being shipped? I want to say just a few days before it was shipped, and then a few days after that it was delivered. Mac and Zabby, which ultra wide gaming monitor do you recommend for under $1,200? Someone else in this stream commented that they found I think it was the 38-inch widescreen Alienware for $1,000. So that's definitely a top contender in my book. It's nice with no Nightbot. Oh, your settings have not been applied. No, I don't want to. Yes, I want to keep the changes. I love how streamers give so much advice. Yeah, it's really great to be able to give you guys some of these live tests so that you know for sure that everything that we're going over here is not fluff, and I'm not sponsored by Alienware. This is all real world tests that we're running here, giving you the closest to what you should be experiencing if you bought it yourself as possible. So yeah, under 70 degrees right now with the temps. Temps are not too bad, but it definitely seems like it's not using the GPU as much as it could be. It's saying 99% usage there. Ryan said, so a monitor does matter. If you want anything past 60 frames per second, the reason you're seeing these frames per second right now is because I have VSync turned off. But even though that's what it's rendering, 150, 160 frames per second right now, I'm not actually seeing that many frames per second because my monitor is only at 60 hertz. So the most that I can ever actually see is 60 frames per second, unless you go for a gaming monitor. Usually those, you can get some up to 300, but usually it'll be in the mid 100s, which would basically be double what you're seeing on a standard monitor. Manuel, so interesting to watch. I purchased the R13 for work purchases and definitely not a gamer. I will, however, be picking up some titles and enjoy some gaming. Nice. So are you an editor, Manuel? You do a lot of photography editing or video editing? Because I already did some uh, Puget benchmark tests, and they looked pretty good compared to, I mean, compared to the other gaming PCs that I've run. Man, a lot of people are getting delayed. Get this out of the... I like my background to be as clean as possible. So the CPU got up to 83 at one point. Average frames per second, 123. Go ahead and log that. And that was with DirectX on. So there was a laptop that did a better job than that. The GE76 Raider. Interesting. I don't know what I could be missing. I know that I heard that VBS, the visualization based, or what was it called? Visualization based security that's in Windows 11 apparently affects performance by 28%. But I went in and checked to see if that was disabled, and by default, they had that disabled already. My time spy result was 18,349. That tech guy, what GPU did you have again? GPU and CPU? Mostly photography, but we're doing more video work. But Lightroom is such a poorly written app, and will say is flying on this machine. Yeah, my wife actually, she has her own photography business, and she uses Lightroom a lot on her MacBook. She's always having laggy issues. It does seem like Lightroom takes a lot more processing power than it should. Gotta deactivate that DLSS. Oh, did I have that activated? I don't think... Does Tomb Raider have DLSS? Never actually remember it changing this. Oh, wait, here we go. Yeah, that's off. Oh, gotta activate the DLSS. Yeah, I usually have that off, but we can see what that does. $3080 Ti, 12900 KF. Huh. I don't think running to the stream card should be affecting performance at all.
I really don't think that's what's happening. But I can run the test again after the stream and see if running straight to monitor gives me better results on that. Try Call of Duty Cold War. I don't have that one on this machine. I was trying to do Warzone, but for some reason that had a update the size of the game itself that I had to run again. Update Tomb Raider for DLSS 2.3. Way better visuals and performance. Zombie 13, how's it going? I think my Tomb Raider that I'm using right now is the most up-to-date Tomb Raider. I will say DDR5 is making a huge difference for me when working in both Lightroom and Photoshop at the same time. Yeah, I definitely see this being a good machine for creators. Yeah, frames per second seems to be quite a bit higher running DLSS. Brian M said, in your unboxing, you said you wanted to change the fans. Did you? And how's the thermals? No, I did just get those Noctua fans that I was talking about. Those just came in. I've got 3 of these, and in another video after my review video, a video where I go really in depth with a lot more games, a lot more different benchmark tests, kind of more of like a deep dive type video. I'm also going to be doing more overclocking and undervolting, and showing you the results after I did the repasting on the GPU, the little plate around the GPU. I think that it contacts the video RAM, but for some reason that has no thermal paste on it, and I've seen in other videos some methods of applying that so that it can bring the temperature of the video RAM down. So I'll be doing that as well, and kind of showing you the difference between performance and thermals and fan noise with all those. So average FPS 118. So it actually went down after I turned on DLSS. That's interesting. Huh. So yeah, I really don't understand why it's not pushing itself as hard as it could be. It's only using, I mean, usually it's not using the full percentage of the GPU and CPU, and the temperatures are, I mean, it's not throttling due to temperatures. Why did you go with the Noctua fans? Have you looked at the Be Quiet fans? I looked at a few reviews online, and they were always showing the Noctuas near the top. Um, that was why I went with those. And I know of some other people on YouTube that have told me that they've used Noctuas on theirs and they didn't run into any BIOS issues, so I felt like that was going to be a good one to try. It'll be interesting to see if Adobe will release an updated version to run the new Adler Lake like they did for the Apple M1 chip. Yep, I hope they do. I was able to fit the new Camlink Pro PCIe card in the available slot above the video card in my R13. Nice. Yeah, it looked to me like it might not be able to fit something else, but I'm glad that it actually was. All the boost said, what does your DDR5 look like in the R13? On Dell's website, it doesn't look plain Jane, but in reviews, it looks horrible. Yeah, unfortunately, when I pulled it out, it was a pretty plain Jane looking RAM. Can you review the Razer fans? I have not seen those yet. What model Noctuas did you end up getting? I got the Noctua NF-A12 X25. Got these from Amazon. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to close this. Jump into Cyberpunk was another one that I saw people ask about. Close all windows. Make sure everything else down here is turned off. I wonder if Google Chrome slows things down. I doubt it does, but when do you know to upgrade RAM or add more? So I don't think it's necessary to change the RAM until they have faster speeds for the DDR5. Unless you've got 16 gigabytes of RAM and you do a lot of editing. Editing always helps with adding more RAM, but honestly with games you don't need like that much more than 16 gigabytes of RAM. DDR5 is generic green printed boards, but they're working great. A little disappointed considering this is their premiere of a CN2 box release. Run RGB heat sinks on RAM, problem solved. You know, I read an article about heat sinks on RAM, and it was basically talking about um, the fact that the heat sinks on RAM don't really. I mean, I know you're talking about it for RGB, but and they make things look cool just having it on there even without RGB, and rather than being naked. Um, that's the latest. But apparently they don't actually really benefit the card that much, the RAM stick that much. All right, so what are we getting here? 123 at max settings. Let me make sure all my graphical settings are at max. Graphics. I always run my tests at ultra. I never run them at ray tracing. So I'm just going to keep things consistent with the other tests that I've done. $150. Feels pretty smooth. This game sure does look awesome though. I love games like this. I'm gonna gun it. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Cyberpunk 2077, yeah, one of my main reason I got my new R13. Yeah, this game does look pretty awesome. Mine should be here in 1 to 2 weeks. Congrats. Gonna use it to run a triple screen racing rig. Nice. Wow. You'll have to post a picture of that when you get it all set up. Does the Dell 3090 hold its own against other brands? So far today, um, it hasn't. I don't know if there's a setting or if it's because of Windows 12 or what it is, but it's not pushing the GPU as hard as it could be. I mean, right now it says it's at 97%. I'm going to reset my frames per second average. What time is it where you are? Here it's 10:16. It's 10:16 right now. Come on, get me into the action so I can see what these frames per second are like. Anyone know when the R13, R14 is going to be available at Best Buy? That's a good question. Should I get a 3060 in my new one and then upgrade it later? Yeah, it's definitely an option. The new 3090 Ti is coming out next year, and that would be a nice addition to this computer. Lots of benchmarking tools don't read the info right on Windows 11 yet. Yeah, that might be the case. Am I going to be able to get into some action so I can...
Wow, that's a lot of talking. Yeah, finding the GPU and the DDR5 is definitely the biggest trouble you're going to have. Building your own computer right now, I did the math, is actually going to cost you more than going with the R13, believe it or not. 3090 GPU just by itself is $3,000, and you can't find DDR5 RAM anywhere. Z690 motherboards are pretty expensive. Wow, there's a lot of non-gaming happening right now. Wow, that was a long cinematic. Fall of Paradise, thanks for the sub. Yes, it's a 3090 GPU. Zodic Wolf, thanks for the sub. My GPU Z is way off in its numbers, IDing my system specs. How do you compare this to the R12? Well, the R12 ran pretty hot, and this machine does a much better job with thermals. So now we're getting 155 frames per second. PC Tech, thanks for the sub. What'd she call me? Do you overclock? Is it necessary? Can you really hurt your equipment overclocking? Um, it's possible, but a lot of people do it. I know no YouTuber is going to say definitely do it because we don't want that kind of liability. But a lot of people do it without trouble. Undervolting will help you not get too hot when you're overclocking too. R14 seems like AMD build, no DDR5, only difference I've seen. Well, another two big differences is there's no cryotech cooling, um, which helps out a lot with thermals, and no PCIe 5.0. And PCIe 5.0, I think, is probably the biggest benefit because that's going to help you out with next gen GPUs when you want to upgrade. Seeing the price hikes, do you think buying a laptop is a better option right now? I honestly prefer laptops just because I'm always moving around the house. Um, that GE76 that I ran, I mean, I don't know if my numbers are off for a specific reason that has to do with just things not being optimized properly yet for the Intel 12th gen or Windows 11. But the GE76 laptop posted some numbers pretty close to this computer. Ryan said, I found this channel while searching for gaming PCs and it's been super beneficial. I subbed and can't wait to see all the content. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm still fairly new. I only started doing only gaming laptop computer videos this year, I think mid this year. Before that, it was just kind of an overall tech channel that I called Dad Tech, where I did all kinds of tech. But now I'm focusing mostly on gaming PCs. See, continue. So I'm going to call this 150, and we can jump into GTA 5 and see what we're getting with there. Save game. Can't save right now. Well, I'm just going to quit then. Let's jump into GTA 5. With Alienware systems, how hard will upgrading the power supply be? That depends on if the power supply that you get will be bigger, because right now I honestly think that there's too little room between the GPU and the power supply. I think that gap should be bigger for thermals. Peter, thanks for the sub. So as long as it's about the size, maybe it can be longer than the current 750 watt PSU that's in there right now. But if it's any taller, I wouldn't really recommend it. All right, where's my Grand Theft Auto? Is it not loading? What's going on? CPU looks a little warm for 25% usage. Yeah, I don't know why it's only running at 25% though. Come on, Grand Theft Auto. Hey, what are the graphics settings you use? I just got the same system, but the graphics are a mess. I always max everything out when I'm doing my tests. Put everything at the highest presets. Will GTA 5 run on my 8GB RAM laptop, Windows 10 processor, Intel Core i3? Can you please tell me how much powerful is my laptop? You can run Grand Theft Auto on that machine. You're gonna have to lower some of the settings though in order to get a decent frame rate. James Foreman, getting liquid cooling will help with thermals. Yes, yes, it will definitely help with thermals. They actually, if you're going to get an i9 processor, they recommend that you don't ever go with a non-liquid cooling CPU, a non-liquid cooled CPU if you go that high. Poi said, I can't imagine trying to buy a GPU when the 40 series comes out. Yeah, that's those are going to be in super high demand. I wonder if they're going to be as hot after Ethereum goes to proof of stake, though, because Ethereum is the single crypto that is making mining so profitable right now. Once it goes proof of stake instead of proof of work, nobody's going to be mining that anymore. Um, they're all going to be moving to other coins. And once everybody moves to the other coins, those coins are going to be less profitable. Um, so I think at some point next year, GPUs will not be in such a high demand as they are right now. Why is this not full screen on my monitor? Screen type, I want full screen. VSync off. Are you going to do a best 2021 laptop tier list video? I was thinking about doing that. I might do that. I know there's a lot of really big uh, reviewers that have already done that, so I know my video would probably get buried in theirs. One thing that kind of helps out a lot, another reason that I do a lot of Alienware videos, is that I'm pretty sure that most of the big reviewers don't get Alienware computers for free. And normally they just wait until they get a computer from uh, a company. Alienware doesn't send these to them, so that's kind of where it helps smaller people like me when I um, purchase an Alienware laptop and either, I mean, you've got two options: selling it or returning it. Um, but it really gives us a chance to actually um, get some attention as a smaller YouTuber. James Foreman, do you ever code? If so, what programming language? I tried coding at one point, but um, coding it requires a different mindset, and it was very difficult for me to understand all that. I got really frustrated when periods ended up making things not work, like a period being in the wrong section. So I have very, very little coding experience. Where'd those graphic settings go? I think all of these are the settings that I normally run. Very high, very high. Ultra. So we're getting 160 right now. Let's see what happens once we start driving through the city. One 146. Oops. Did you see that trick? That was for free. Montage, thanks for the sub. I'm experiencing some latency issues right now. I don't know if you can see that on the stream, but as I was driving really fast right there, I was noticing some jittering, some stopping. So it was like every couple seconds, I would just get like a little stop in my car. I hope other people aren't having these issues. But that's why it's good to do these things live. So you can know for sure that this is what you want to get or not. So I'm not experiencing that jittering anymore. I forgot what that was called. Latency, a certain kind of latency. Yeah, so when I was going, every time I drive really fast, I start to notice a little bit of a jolt, a little stopping point, some sort of lag, and I'm not online with that. Xbox game bar can be the culprit. So you're saying turn that on possibly, and then turning it on or off? Let's run that again. Whoops. Got disconnected. Hart, thanks for the sub. Yeah, unfortunately, the HDMI isn't bringing the sound in through the capture card. I don't know why. And now that the capture card came out, the video got paused. Let me fix that. There we go. Projector. Output projector. All right, let's start this again. All right, let me see some of these comments here. Get on eBay and get the stock water cooling for your R12. People buy Dell machines all the time and part them out. I actually found a pretty good 3090 deal where I live. It cost only $2,000. Sold from an official reseller too. Do you think the 5200 RAM will work? That's a really good question. I have not been able to find any information on whether 4400 is the max or not. If it's just the max that you can find, that you can get with Dell, or if the motherboard itself has that limitation, but graphics. I don't know why it keeps going into windowed mode. So I'm at 170 frames per second right now. Xbox game bar. Turning that on and off didn't really change anything. Oh, now my video is... Windows Defender Firewall has blocked some features of this app. Interesting. I'm interested to know whether Windows 11 is affecting this at all. If I would get better performance with Windows 10. Fix my webcam. And now my webcam just got huge. That's weird. There we go. Let's get back into this. Hey, what? Hey. I lost it. Your face is stuck. Yeah, my bad. My face is back. Where's that cat that's always over here? It's one thing I love about Grand Theft Auto is everything is destroyable. Ho! Flang SF, how's it going? So 138, 139, 140. So we'll call 140 for Grand Theft Auto. Open up my benchmarks. Yeah. I'm having flashbacks from my live event with my R12. Once again, right here, what is this? The GE76 or the X17? Yep, the GE76 posted higher frames per second. And so did, what is this one right here? These are laptops that were posting higher frames per second. That was the M15 R6. So once this stream is over today, we might do a part 2 after some of this stuff is situated. If you guys can run any tests on your end too after that to see if we can figure this out together, what the cause of it is. I know somebody within my subscribers said that he was going to be testing all of this with Windows 10. See if that makes a difference. I know VBS was apparently supposed to bring everything down by 28%. I looked into my machine and it said that VBS was turned off. All right. This chat has a few questions in here. Can you stream more if you have the time? I know you have a child also. Hope he or she is doing well. Yeah, I actually have 3 kids. We have 2 that went to bed and then a baby that, or a 1.5-year-old that I don't know if he's gone to sleep yet. He falls asleep a lot of times on the couch um, while my wife is doing photography editing. But I'm going to jump into another game because there's not that much time left on this stream. Let's go into Red Dead Redemption 2 at HD settings. Come on, Grand Theft Auto, close. Quit. Actually, no, Red Dead Redemption 2 I already ran on at the end of my unboxing video. So let's jump into Apex Legends since nobody's seen that on here yet. Oh, that has an update. How big's the update? Spy NZ, how's it going? I think one of your, yeah, I don't know if it's, if I turn off my overlays, then I'm not going to know exactly what frames per second I'm getting. Felipe, am I happy with the results so far? Um, there's something wrong with it, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm happy with the thermals. I'm happy with the overall heating, but something's getting throttled somewhere. I don't know if it's a Windows issue or what's causing all of this. If somebody else out there that has the R13 with a 3090 and an i9, if you have Windows 10 installed instead of Windows 11, I know somebody said that he was going to do that. If you could post your results and see if I should redo this live stream on another day or just do a part 2 running a different operating system. Because, I mean, these numbers are faster than my laptops, but they should be faster. All these updates. I'm gonna run The Witcher since that has an update. That doesn't have an update. So I would have to say right now I am not happy with the results. I mean, in comparison to what I'm used to, I'm happy, but not compared to how much money this costs and how fast it should be with the specs that it has. But next week I'm going to be doing a bunch of real overclock tests. I'm going to be repasting on the GPU to help bring the VRAM temps down. But I mean, none of those things got hot enough to where it should be throttling, so I'm not yet sure what's going on. Options, video, graphics. Let's go to Ultra. I want this to be full screen. Where is full screen? Display mode. No, I don't want borderless window. I want full screen. The RAM stick is rated for 4800 megahertz, but due to the current limitations of 12th gen CPU, when you add 2 RAM sticks and a 4 RAM slot motherboard, frequency for RAM will max run at 4400 megahertz. Interesting. Do you recommend a 4K monitor or a monitor with a high refresh rate for this machine? The Alienware gaming monitors have super high refresh rates. That would be my first choice. But there's some great gaming. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put down 190 in the spreadsheet. So this game is considerably more than the laptop test, so that's encouraging. Let's try 4K. Well, let me switch to 4K. Actually, I need to change my resolution overall to 4K. Okay, what's going on here? I can't actually see the resolution changes right there. Display resolution 3840 by 2160. Okay, so it was already set to that. Jason, thanks for the sub. You know, I wonder if I change my resolution on here back down to 1920 by 1080, if that'll affect gameplay, even though my games were running at 1080p. Jason, do you actually keep products or do you just return them after testing them out? Yeah, I wish I could keep them, but unfortunately I have to send them back afterwards. I don't know what it is with security cameras companies too. I get at least 1 or 2 a day companies hitting up my uh, business email on YouTube for a review on their security cameras. They say, hey, I want to send you a free product so that you can review it. And I'm not interested in reviewing more security cameras. So now that I know that I'm actually running a 4K display right now, I should be able to run 4K on here pretty easily. 3840 by 2160. Okay. Let's see what this runs at. 110, is that what it looks like? 105. These are some pretty low CPU and GPU temperatures. That's one thing that this computer is definitely doing a lot better. Alienware is not known for being a cool computer. My GPU is running at close to that 350 max wattage at 100%, so you know this game right now is squeezing out every last drop that it can. The Witcher has some pretty good graphics, so 104 FPS at 4K. It's not too shabby. Alright, I can do a couple more games after this. I'm getting close to that 11 o'clock time frame already. So 4K wasn't that much lower. But look here, what computer is this? The Legion 7 Ryzen 9 with a 3080 GPU. Got higher frames per second than this 3090 with an i9 did on a desktop PC. I don't know if it's just my machine, guys, but I gotta say I'm not happy with these results. Hopefully there's an update or something that gets fixed, but this is kind of like deja vu with the R12. On paper, this thing is spec'd out pretty nice. Everything should be working like a dream. All of the complaints that everybody has for this computer have to do with on paper the thermals don't look that good, as far as only having a 120 millimeter all-in-one for an i9 CPU, and thermals don't really seem to be the main issue with this computer. Seems to be bottlenecking somewhere else, or just not enough power. I don't know what it is right now. Are my NVIDIA drivers up to date? Yes, I have the most up to date game ready drivers right now. Looks like Alienware tuned the machine conservatively, hence the mediocre performance. I bet if you cranked the fans max and overclocked, you would see better frames in games. Well, see, I'm not really sure what more overclocking I could be doing right now. I mean, other than getting throttle stop and things like that, but I don't know where Alienware is holding me back on here. The OEM graphic cards is the bottleneck. That's possible. It's not getting too hot, and there was maximum wattage usage at different parts. So let's go into Doom. That's a pretty heavy game. Boost the memory clocks and core clocks. Oh, it's not wanting me to. I guess I got to go into the Alienware Command Center to do that. Yeah, I do definitely have a lot of thermal headroom. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to use more. You know what? Just for my own sanity, I'm going to turn overclock 2 on, run Witcher again, and I know I already did that in the BIOS and that could possibly mess things up, but I want to see just for my own sanity if that made anything higher. Do you have another 3090 or 3080? No, I wish I could test that out. That would be a good test to run. It's safer and easier to overclock the CPU using Intel Extreme Tuning Utility, but you do not need to overclock your i9, to be honest. video back to... Okay, I'm at 4K right now. NVIDIA Hairworks is on. Everything is set to ultra. Continue game. All right. Still looking like 104, 106, 107. 105. Yep, nothing changed there. Still unsatisfying results right there. What did I put it as? 104? I mean, I got 106. I have a strong feeling that it has something to do with Windows 11. I know about a lot of reports of games just flat out not working in Windows 11. And I'm almost tempted to, at some point, roll back. Oh, I wonder how hard that is to do, to go back to Windows 10. Whoa, that screen tear. Yeah, there's definitely going to be screen tearing when I have VSync turned off. I'm just trying to see. I don't have anything synced with my monitor well. I'm just trying to see what the maximum frames per second I'm going to be getting if I had a fast monitor. James said, well, damn, now I'm worried about getting this bad boy next week. Hopefully it can handle the triple screen racing setup. I just need 60 frames per second, but hoping to run 4K across three 55-inch displays. Yeah, with all the components that it has running right now, and I mean, even Gamers Nexus said that Dell did a good job with their 3090 GPU, their version of the 3090 GPU. So I don't feel like there's bad components in this machine. I think software-wise, there's something that's holding it back. I don't know if it's an Alienware thing, but I have a strong feeling it has something to do with Windows 11. And maybe the one setting that I thought disabled VBS um, doesn't disable VBS completely. I'll have to look more into that. But from the different websites that I saw, it was showing that there was only one setting that I needed to check. Do you have another SSD with Windows 10 on it? You can put that in instead of downgrading this one. Oh, you know what? I can just take the SSD drive from my laptop and put it in. That's a good idea. I'll just swap out my SSD drive that's in my laptop, put it in the R13, and then run some tests and then show you guys what my results are going to be. That would make me really happy if it has to do with um, just Windows 11. Because it's pretty disappointing that these kind of specs are not posting high results, and really disappointing that a GE76 laptop has been getting better frames per second numbers than my R13. Are you using HDMI or DisplayPort cable? HDMI cables can be dodgy if they're not good quality. Try DisplayPort cable. I don't have a DisplayPort cable right now. But I wouldn't think that that would have anything to do with the actual performance of the. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've run the same HDMI cables when doing 4K tests with my laptop tests, and I wasn't seeing any weird issues with those. Appreciate the info, makes me feel a bit better. Did have a bad feeling about Windows 11. Well, isn't the GE76 the best gaming laptop out there right now, though? From what I've seen and what I've tested, the GE76 is the best. I've seen on some other reviewers,
Gizmo Slip Tech. He also tested the Legion 7i. I've not been able to test the Legion 7i yet. I tried to, and I got blue screen, so I had to send like blue screen over and over again when I ran all my different games. So there was something wrong with the GPU on that one. So I had to send that back. Eventually, I'll probably get another one to test it out, but I was pretty disappointed that I got so many blue screens with that one. But he showed the best numbers with that, and then I also heard the S17 has pretty high numbers, but you can't find that one anywhere. So between the GE76 and the Legion 7i, those are the two best gaming laptops that I've seen so far. Um, and then the X17 is like a close second place to those. Performance-wise, the X17 did really well, especially with creative apps. And I really love like the look of the X17. It just looks really nice. Let me jump into one more game. We'll do Doom since I always test that one out, compare it to everything else. But yeah, I like that suggestion about swapping out my SSD card with the one for my laptop to see how much better performance I get. But we'll figure this out. Definitely going to be doing a whole slew of major testing next week for the full benchmarks video, the deep dive video. So can also try the studio drivers as a test instead of game ready drivers. I did use the studio drivers when I tested out the Puget benchmark tests for creative apps, and those were considerably better numbers for creative apps. Every single category it beat out the laptop, so that might be worth a shot testing that out. You know, after I run the Doom Eternal benchmark test, if it ends up ever loading, after I run this one, maybe I will go back into the studio drivers and um, see if that gives me a better frames per second with Witcher. It's a good suggestion too. Let me uninstall the Alienware Command Center. Oh, that's overclock components. Yeah, might as well. I'll just uninstall the Command Center first, run the test. We'll do this one by one to see what sticks. I'm going to play this first. Balanced. Wow, a lot of pop-ups this time around. Oh my gosh, get out of here. Beginning of the campaign has a pretty decent amount of detail. Is your power set to high performance? Yes, I had that set to high performance. Is 16 gigabytes of RAM good enough for most games? Yeah, it is. I don't think there's. I think Warzone was the only game that I've seen when I maxed out every possible setting, all the texture settings, that ended up using more than 16 gigabytes. Um, wow. Yeah, I know I need a really nice monitor with a 3090 GPU. But I'm actually, because I don't have a 4K monitor, I'm running all of this actually to my laptop as a display. I got 64 gigabytes of DDR5 on my spec. Would that help? 64 gigabytes is actually what I've got on this machine right now. And honestly, I don't think it's necessary to go. 32 gigabyte is 32 gigabytes is safe for games so that you can know for sure that you've got everything that you need, but usually it doesn't go past 16. Um, if you're running a lot of creative apps doing editing, you can definitely benefit from using 64 gigabytes. But it looks like my machine has frozen. It hasn't restarted itself or anything, but the display has completely frozen. Unless my graphics card just died. Or my capture card. I'm going to restart. Oh, it understood that. It didn't understand Control-Alt-Delete. Wait, maybe I can cancel. Cancel, cancel. Okay, there we go. Phew. I'll have to restart. Alright, since that froze, I'm going to go ahead and do the studio driver option. See if that does anything. And then after that, I'm going to have to call it a night. Drivers. Let's swap it for a studio driver. I hate that you have to re-download it every single time you swap it. It's ridiculous. Looks like I'll be canceling my R13 order. Yeah, if this isn't an isolated issue, if they don't have a fix for it. But yeah, whoever suggested me swapping out the SSD with that has Windows 10 on it, I'm definitely going to try that out and see if it's a Windows 11 issue. The main thing that I am pleased about with this machine is how much cooler it is, and the fan noise is not that loud. But it's not being pushed to its max. Downloading, downloading, downloading. So, anybody else that's on here that ordered an R13, can you guys uh, run some of these tests to see if you're getting anything better? If you want to let me know what your 3D Mark scores are, Cinebench scores. If you want to, actually, if you post them within the comments, that would be super helpful. We can kind of cross-reference them and see uh, who's doing the right thing with their R13, so that as a group we can either figure this out together or really help out a lot of people from purchasing this machine. My Vu says my R13 runs well. All tests in 99th percentile I've run. Maybe your bad cooler has in some nerf mode. Fair to say it's still a solid machine for the price compared to other pre-builts available right now. I mean, it's priced pretty well with everything spec-wise on paper. It's got great specs, and the thermals are great. So, I mean, I'm not understanding why it's performing so low though. When I get my cooler replaced on Monday because of the LED lights, maybe hopefully that has something to do with the performance. I doubt it because it's not getting too hot. So let's run Witcher again because that was the one that I was really having an issue with. Cinebench 24K plus times by 16, not overclocked. Interesting. Hey Kempo Kid, yeah, I am having an issue with mine. When I run directly to the monitor, maybe I'm going to be getting better results, but we'll see. Let's pause Apex Legends. Go back into The Witcher. Now that we have the studio driver. I'm getting too tired, I can't speak correctly. Cloud sync conflict. Did you turn your performance mode to 100 in your power settings? Did my mouse just freeze on me? I know that's on laptops, but I don't know that I don't think there is a 0 to 100 thing for my power settings. Processor power management. Maximum processor state 100. Did support ask you to check the RGB wire connection on the motherboard? No, they didn't ask me to check that, but I actually I checked that myself. I unplugged both of those cables coming from the CPU cooler and plugged them back in. All right, back to video, graphics, max settings at 4K. Continue. Did my afterburner go away? Yep, it did. Why is my overlay not coming up?
There we go. So F7. Nope. Even lower frames per second by uninstalling that and changing to the studio drivers. I'm going to uninstall the other Alienware thing in there. Alienware Control Center component. Wait, Alienware Command Center Suite. Why is that back in there? I'm going to uninstall both of these. Uninstall probably didn't happen because it didn't restart. Yeah, I'll go ahead and uninstall both of these. The Alienware Command Center components as well, and then I'm going to restart and see if that has an effect on anything. Hot garbage. Well, I don't think you've been watching the stream because that's not the issue that we've been having. Heating is not what we've been having an issue with. This machine has been running pretty cool. It's just underperforming for the way it's spec'd out. Alienware products is die about 1 to 2 years. Well, I have a laptop that has lasted for almost 2 years that I'm using right now. So let's restart this. Are you streaming on the R13? No, I'm running to a capture card, an external capture card that is then going into Streamlabs on my laptop. Yeah, if I find a solution to why things are running slower, I know Vu is saying that he's got some pretty high results. So it might just be my machine. I think he had a 3080 GPU and he was getting higher scores than I'm getting right now. What's my favorite 4-digit number, Justin? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the command center is definitely not optimized. Well, it's never been optimized, honestly, because it takes 23 seconds for the Alienware command center to open up, even on this machine. Spy NZ, is that your pin code? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. All right, let's get Afterburner back in here.
Come on, where's my overlay? Come on, Afterburner. Where are you at? F7. Every time I make a change, the frames per second drops even lower. But if you look there, I'm getting 74 degrees on the GPU, 54 degrees on the CPU. It's saying that I'm maxing out the GPU, that the GPU is at 100%. Yeah, the GPU is at 100% and it's running 350 watts. So it's pushing the GPU pretty hard. The CPU is only being used, only using 10% of it, but it doesn't look like it's trying to use much of it. But yeah, on that GPU, it's pushing it like crazy, but for some reason it's getting lower frames per second than my GE76 laptop did. If I turn Hairworks off, pretty sure I had that on in my GE76, but I brought it up to 120. Still, what was my GPU or the GE76 again? On Witcher. Oh wait, never mind. What was the one that we were looking at before that had 104 frames per second? Alright, no, for Witcher 3, I was looking at the wrong thing there. 110 for 4K. That's quite a bit more than what I was getting with the other ones. Yesterday's update made a nice improvement. Yeah, I think I'll try that out. Alright guys, that's it for this stream. If I figure some more stuff out, I think I'll probably do a part 2 to these benchmarks, maybe sometime next week. If anybody else can post their results down below, we can kind of help the community figure out if I've been having some isolated issues, or what the exact reason is, and we can help other people get the highest results. What is the voting for? It's not opening for me. The voting just takes you to the community post where you could vote on what time for this stream to be, but voting already happened and everybody decided that this was the best time. But once again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. God bless.